Since I joined Ugo as the COO of CrossTech, this industry has a meaning. I'm an immigrant. I'm a user of cross-border payments, remittances companies, and the association is a big part of making this happen. So not only today we're going to talk about what they do, why you should join an association, but I also want to touch on the importance for immigrants and for this industry to have the support of such amazing entities. You guys are really making a difference in the world. And I've invited three very important associations that I couldn't live without, or we CrossTech cannot live without. And it's part of our daily work, part of our daily mission, and to be able to bring regulations, bring regulators in front of real issues of the people, because that's why we are all here for the people. So I have three amazing panelists. I have Amy, I have Lorenzo, and Kelly. So let's start with you, Kelly. Since you are Brazilian and you're my counterpart in that country, talk a little bit about who you are, about your association, Abracams, and a little bit of your career.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for it's an honor to be here. Well, I was business manager degree in the currently executive president of Abracam, the Brazilian Association. Exchange. I have been working in the forex industry for 20 years now. In my currently position, I lead the government relations of the association with public authorities, such as Department of the Economics, the Federal Reserve Bank, and the Securities Exchange departments like justice policy. I am also in the main point of the contact legislator with industry and keep close interaction with other financial market associations in Brazil and abroad.
And guys, there is one saying that we learned in Brazilian party yesterday. If you want to know Brazil, you have to meet with Kelly. Yes. So that was the constant comment of the Brazilian party. So we are very happy to partner with someone in that organization that really has the know-how of the industry. Now, tell me a little bit about you, Lorenzo, and you know, South Florida, we are in Miami, so your experience and the association that you're representing here today.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Lorenzo Del Zoppo. I originally started in this field, actually in the 90s. I used to work for the European Union. I used to work at the time that we were building actually the Eurozone, and I was focusing particularly on cross-border transaction and the destabilizing effect of cross-border transaction, particularly towards Europe, and at the time was mainly North Africa. So when I moved to the States, I started working after my master in law, I started working for a money transmitter company, and at the time we had about 1,500 agencies throughout the US. We were covering 36 states. And we were in about 95 countries. So that's where really I started focusing a lot in the anti-money laundering space, because of course September 11 happened right at the time that I was there. And so I decided to join ACAMS, the Association of Certified Anti-Money Laundering Specialists. That was one of the first association in this particular field. And actually it was born from a rib of a money laundering alert that was a very famous publication in this area. And I was one of the first members of the association. I was in the first batch of certification. So I'm talking about I'm talking about March 2003. March 2003. And then in 2006, I was co-founded the local chapter of the association, is the South Florida ACAMS chapter. And at the time, I was chief compliance officer of a local bank. And that's allowed me a lot to interact with all the peers in the area, because the local bank was covering practically from all Florida, from the Keys to Tallahassee. So got a lot involved in organizing events, and I was in charge of programming. So from 2006, I've been continuously on the board. So I'm turning 15 this year, actually turning 15 as member of the board, and the long-standing one, it looks like. And recently, I left the bank and I created my own firm. I have a firm that provides compliance services, compliance risk management services. In fact, the name is CORISMA, Compliance Risk Management Solutions. And we provide services for banks, money transmitter, a lot of fintech. I worked a lot in the fintech space because it's kind of becoming the new hot topic. And that's why, particularly in the last 3 years, in the association, we've been focusing a lot, the seminar, the events, a lot on how to monitor cryptocurrency exchanges, how to monitor transaction for cryptocurrency exchanges, how banks also, they should learn how to monitor the interaction of their clients with cryptocurrency. We had multiple webinars and events.
And just to touch base on that, we did have a partnership with ACAMS in this event, and everybody who participated on the first day on our compliance course is going to receive credits. We also have the certification for you, so you can publish on your LinkedIn, and we actually have seen some publications as well. So we are very thankful for this partnership and to be able to have a representation here, because as we've said in the startup sessions that we had yesterday, and also when we're talking about digitalization, you can be digital without being compliant, right? So it's very important that we are giving you the right tools and that we bring these associations here so you have access immediately, right now. Like I said yesterday, time is now, and I'm bringing all of this for you now. Thank you very much, Lorenzo. Now, Amy, let's talk a little bit about MSBA. It's a very important partner for us. I think especially for Hugo, this is something that it's on the bottom of his heart. And now I know we are even having plans to maybe do in different countries. Stay tuned for that. So talk a little bit about you and the work. I know you're not really the association chief, but you are a big partner for the association. I want to hear about your background and how do you link with MSBA?
Yeah, so my name is Amy Greenwood-Field. I am counsel with Dentons. We are the largest law firm in the world. And I am not Kathy as in the agenda. Kathy had to leave early, so she left me with copious notes. I have all the background and all the information about what's going on with the MSBA. But I actually met Kathy at the launch party in 2015 in Kansas City. And she has done wonderful things with the association. You know, I know Hugo was involved in the onset of the association, and the association has built relationships with regulators, both at the state level and at the federal level, to be able to have a say on behalf of the industry, which is extremely important.
And I actually have participated and attended the monthly meetings, and on the monthly meetings we discuss possible legislations that are coming in, and we are able to give our feedback and to say, how do we impact those legislations to help the people, right? Because at the end of the day, we're not here to help us, we're here to make a difference and help our people.
Yes, absolutely.
So now I want to talk a little bit about the benefits. What are, if I have to recruit members for you today, what are the benefits of joining an association? And I want to divide this question in two parts. Is, let's say I'm a newcomer, I just joined the industry, and I know now a lot of a lot of MSBs, payment companies are hiring technology companies or technology executives to be part of this industry. So not necessarily you have all the background. So let's talk about from a newcomer perspective, and let's talk about from an experienced executive perspective. So who should join the associations? What are the benefits? Is that a benefit for all, either if you're new or old? Lorenzo, you want to start?
Yes, absolutely. Well, for a company as ACAMS that has been in the market for a long time, we have to consider ACAMS has about 40,000 members all throughout the world. It became kind of the standard for the industry. So if you are a newcomer, first of all, you should be certified. Like many large banks, they require it as a minimum. Like I don't know, Citibank or HSBC, they require those credentials to be certified. And if you are instead an expert in this field, if you've been involved with in this line of business, particularly in the AML space for a long time, it's also very important to interact with your peers. So the association has multiple kind of membership, and the membership for the more expert, the advanced, let's call it the advanced version, allows you to practically access this pool of knowledge. So there is, besides the continuous seminars that you can access and to update yourself, etc., but there is actually a tool where you can interact with your peers. You're putting in communication, you have particular question, you shoot it there in the blog, and there is always somebody that can reply you. And that is an amazing tool. And this is one of the things that makes it so stimulates you a lot of continue to be part. And then, of course, you have also the networking part that is always great, because you need partners, you need providers.
Kelly, how about you? Can you tell us a little bit about Bercam and what are the benefits of joining the membership?
Yes, in Brazil, the government talks happen just with association. That's through the executive government and the legislative talks every time with associations. They don't interact directly with the financial market institutions. So associations is very important for dialogue.
How about you, Amy, representing MSB? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, and one thing that's interesting about the United States structure, different from other countries, is that you are regulated both at the federal level as well as the state level. And it's every state is different. So the MSB actually helps provide an avenue to get information about what's going on at those levels in a more compact form. So the association tracks trends, legislation, regulation, and anything that affects the money services business industry. You already mentioned that they have monthly member meetings, and part of that format of those meetings is they have a guest speaker of some sort of trending topic. They have legislative updates, so what's going on, that's current, that they're tracking on the behalf of their members, and then they have working group updates. And they currently have 6 working groups, including a banking committee, licensed money transmitters, government relations, anti-fraud, international committee, and fintech. And you mentioned as well, fintech is really the hot new shiny penny. So everyone's watching what's going on there.
So let's talk about money. Okay. So how much does it cost to join the association? And talk a little bit about what does it cover? So I'm assuming that when you pay the membership fee, you can attend the meetings, you have access to a network of people, and you also have access to change the law in the MSB case. Not every time you will win, but at least you will have an opportunity to be part of that change. So do you want to start, Kelly, in regards to price?
The value appear so doesn't reflect the benefits associations. Other offer in additional to the intangible gains, which I have mentioned before when I was talking about government relations. Abracam also makes many actions. They are intended the promoting the edge service to lower costs of to our members. We have basically of the service operations of her rate is up 14, for example, 14% lower than marketplaces. That's not linked to the monthly fees, but and it tools make it up for a larger part of them just for my associations.
Good. How about you, Lorenzo? How much does it cost and what does it cover?
The association has a basic membership of about $300. The $300 cover like the maintenance of your certification, because we have to consider a lot of focus of the organization is the certification. And the certification, of course, there are nowadays, because when I took it, there was only one certification. Nowadays, we evolved and we have three kind of certification. Like the most for analyst, we have it for the specialist, and we have, as I said, the advanced certification. And inside those, there are like subcategories also. The price is more or less the same. It's like $1,000. It's like around $1,000, $1,500, and $2,000 for the advanced. But inside, there are like a kind of sub-certification that I think is very efficient because, for instance, if you want to be a KYC specialist or something, you have your own specific certification that focus on what you want, etc., etc. Plus, of course, you have a very large set of webinars that are paid webinar, events, the conference, there is the original conference is 20 years old already, and it's we have it in LA and here in Hollywood. And
so if you are out of date with your certifications, or if you are a new compliance person who is looking to enter the market, please don't forget to sign up. And if you have any questions, who is the best person to ask than our own panelist, co-founder of the South Florida chapter? So very important. And part of surviving the industry and reinventing yourself is being up to date with these changes. So
correct.
I think it's a lot of the things that we talked about. The theme of the week has been trends, reinventing yourself, and the time is now. So I think this is a great moment. If you're not signed up, I need you to sign up today.
And particularly for us, like we have the South Florida chapter.
Yes.
It's very active. It's only $50. I'm sorry, only $50. It's only $50 a year, and it gives you access to all our events. And as I said, these are local events with local people, local speakers. There are a lot of regulators that interact. It's a good way to interact with, as I said, with your
Great.
peer locally.
So Amy, let's talk a little bit about MSB and how much does the membership and what does it cover?
Yeah, so the MSBA actually has 3 different membership tiers. You can enter as a smaller participant, so that's someone who you may be an agent of another licensee. You may only be spending part of your time in the marketplace, or you have an international presence only, and that cost is $1,100 annually. The middle tier is an associate member. That is those that support the industry. So your law firms, your consultants, your compliance people, payment processors. That fee is $3,500 annually. And then the most popular tier is licensed entities. That is, of course, your licensed money transmitters, your payment card your issuers and distributors, processors, mobile payment providers, virtual currency exchanges and administrators, your e-wallet providers. That cost is $6,500 annually. And industry members are actually the only ones that can sit on the MSBA board and have a say in what the association decides to do. All members do receive updates, and are attending those monthly meetings. But like I said, there are only the higher tiers can actually have a say in the oversight of the industry.
But you have an ability to network with them, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
even if you're not part of that tier, you can still be in front of the decision makers and be able to influence some of your great beliefs. So it's all a matter of your power of your persuasion.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think to finalize, I wanted to talk a little bit about market research. As you know, we are positioning ourselves within the industry to come up with trends, come up with the statistics, to be really able to share the knowledge with all our partners, peers, technologies. And so what has been the work that you have done with market research companies and other partner to be able to be on top of the latest trends of the industry? And that is a tricky question, because if you don't have one, that's where I see that there is an opportunity. Can we talk a little bit about that? Kathy, you want to start?
Still not Kathy.
Oh, Amy.
That's okay.
MSB, can you start?
Yes, MSB. So MSB does have access to data. So NMLS, the Nationwide Multi-State Licensing System, shares data on an annual basis that they gather from the Money Services Businesses Call Report. If you attended the previous session, we put the call out that the MSBCR is currently out for comment. They're making some changes to include virtual currency to that report as well. There is information that we can get on LATAM and select countries, and we also get remittance data from the CFPB. And MSBA is currently in the process of evaluating the best use of their resources to be able to parse down this data and make sure that it's refined and valuable to industry members.
So let's talk a little bit about your experience with market research and data.
Yes. As I said, the ECAMS membership allows you to also access a pretty broad pool of tools. I say also because there is particularly the website. It used to be a magazine, but now it's a website called moneylaunderingalert.com, by the way, that has a lot of information down there. And one of the greatest things that they do, every year, actually, they have a survey on salaries. That is something that is pretty interesting for everybody, because it collects data related to the salary of compliance officer at various levels. So this is I think is a great resource, particularly when you are in the market.
It's a good tool to negotiate your salary with your
Exactly.
current company.
Exactly. You have your benchmark. It's for everybody. That's a tool. Right. And so I think it's very useful. But of course, it comes up a lot of government agencies. They interact with ACAMS, a lot of certified ACAMS, because I forgot to say that there is like a particular section, and they have particular pricings for government official. If you remember, like they have their government pricing, etc., etc. So there is a lot of synergies, and on the website, and particularly in acams.org, you can find a lot of informations that are related to this world, the anti-money laundering world, and the people that they actually work in this world.
Kelly, can we talk a little bit about Bracam?
Bracam represents firms of the different size and which operate areas. More important than research is our work done to improve the business environment and the benefits of them. And that it takes place in many ways, from the relations the government and to the strong presence in the press and also our internal working groups. Bracam today holds a strong influence power.
So today, we wanted to cover mostly why associations are important. We wanted to highlight 3 of the associations that are really big partners for crosstalk, for the industry, to give you an opportunity to be in front of them, so that way you can take advantage of it. And I think, like I said in the beginning, I just want to touch base to that again. It's not only being part of the association is going to help you be top of mind in the industry, but you're going to help make a difference. And I think we spend a lot of time talking about technology, implementation, how do I make more money, how do I become more powerful, but we also have to identify how do you make a social impact. And I think the association is able to do both. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to share this panel with the three of you, and I'm looking forward to hearing more.
Thank you, Priscilla.